Okay, so progress on the silver car. We can see that we've got the rear fenders on the vehicle, the front fenders. We're gluing the gas cap on right now with some epoxy, and we'll sand that all down to make it all look nice and pretty. You'll notice that there's actually the wing on the car right now. What we ended up doing is, I'll show you the inside structure. So with the Saber Design kit, what you're going to get is you're going to get this structure that ends up bolting to the wing on the top. So you can see here. So Don, can you come and actually show it? Right there. So this. So that's
the structure. Like so. This goes over under the lock. And this plate, when you drill through the trunk, essentially the trunk lid, to fasten the bracket for the wing itself. So these two here and these two here. To be careful though is that you have to make sure that this bracket is on the outside. Otherwise you won't be able to put a washer in here. So this bracket goes on the outside here of this.
Yeah.
Right?
Something else.
You won't be able to put that bracket.
Something else we had to do is right in this corner right here.
Oh yeah, we have to cut this.
Yeah, we had to cut that right there in order to be able to get your hand behind to put that screw on the corner. So we had to cut that
Both sides.
on both sides. And then the big thing with installing the wing is finding the center of the vehicle.
Which we found it to be here.
Yeah, so we ended up using that hole right there as the center. And then you basically have the wing and you split the difference between here and there to be able to, so let's say in our case it was 17 3/8. So we basically had to split the difference from that center line. And so that's how we were able to get the front of it in place. Now, these are not straight, meaning that they actually bow a little bit, right? So the front is actually a 1/4 inch shorter than the back is. So what happens is
they're towed in, essentially.
So what happens is that you want to make sure you got the front measured, and then from that center line, and then you remeasure for the back of it so that you can actually know where they're actually going to sit.
We used the center line in the center of the eye here, camera eye. And
To try and create.
Like, so it's relatively easy to get a straight line through there.
Yeah. Then after that, what we ended up doing is we ended up finding to make sure that we can actually put this center hole, if you can open a trunk, put the center hole on those so that we can hit the plate. And again, it was measuring from the center line. So you want to make sure you're looking at here to here. That's the center line. And then you're finding the distance to here to be able to hit this right on to there. So you want to make sure you hit that perfectly. Once that's in place, and now you've found where those two go, and then the two front ones end up being done after those are actually put. So you end up doing these two, and what we did in order to give more strength to that is we put a bracket, which, if you lift it,
Just an angle iron.
yep. So we ended up putting an angle iron there, just to make it a little bit stronger.
On the front.
Yeah.
Distribute that weight a bit.
Perfect. Now, the other thing that we actually did as well to try and get a little bit more strength with the wing is to make it sit on the plastic piece in the back, not just on the trunk, because we had it with our previous wing. You can actually see right here. That wing there, we had the Agile wing,
the blue one.
and I'll show you what happened on my blue car. It basically ended up denting. So you can actually see we ended up trying to knock it back. Did a very bad job at it, but oh well.
When we put the plates, we had them out here.
So this is why we want to put the plate backwards onto that plastic to try and help it. But that centerpiece with the inside of the trunk should help to stop that from collapsing. And then after that, this is just to secure to make sure that it's not going to rip everything apart and give it more strength. But right now, if you pull on it, it's actually, the whole you'd have to rip off the whole trunk in order to get that wing to come off. So that's a good thing. All right, perfect.